once again. The all-new 1996 Mercury Sable. The best-selling Mercury's been totally reinvented. Good-looking outside with good thinking inside. Imagine, it's this affordable. Sable gives you more standard horsepower than Camry or Accord, and they can't match Sable's room or style. Everything about it has changed, except the value.
Imagine yourself in a Mercury now.
At your Mercury dealer.
From the producer of Pulp Fiction.
I'm coming to get you, boy, because I'm your man and you're my man.
Comes the surprise movie of the year.
You fire me?
Time says Travolta delivers.
Yeah, what'd he say?
I don't get involved in these matters.
A heartbreaking portrayal.
I can't even make it.
Just do something.
Absolutely electric. Travolta's just terrific.
I promise you, honey, it's gonna be better.
John Travolta, Harry Belafonte, White Man's Burden. Rated R. Starts Friday, December 1st at theaters everywhere.
Brighten your child's future this holiday season with a gift from the Kingdom of Knowledge, the Learning Palace. This holiday season, take home a free game pack with the purchase of Geo Safari, Geo Safari Junior, and Math Safari. And Brio offers Journeys of Discovery. During the holidays, all Brio and Brio accessories are 15% off. With the best selection and prices on educational games and toys, it's the Learning Palace, Gresham, Vancouver, Beaverton, Eugene, and now Mall 205.
You're watching Coin TV, Channel 6.
Good morning, I'm Charles Osgood, and this is Sunday Morning. We trust your Thanksgiving holiday was a good one. Also, the turkey gone and the drive home out of the way, it's time now, ready or not, to begin the shopping season. Our cover story this morning is about a special kind of shopping where the items for sale have no price tags, where the value of a thing is literally whatever you say it is, with the discreet wave of a hand or a paddle with a number on it. A move of your hand or of your paddle may or may not buy you something wonderful, but it does raise the price and can cost you a fortune. What Am I Bid is our cover story this morning, to be reported by Terrence Smith.
Auctions used to be the last resort of the threadbare gentry, a way to convert family heirlooms into hard cash.
$7,500,000, $8 million.
Today, it's a billion-dollar business dominated by two great houses locked in fierce competition. This Sunday morning, we'll take you to the front lines of the auction wars here in New York City at the height of the fall season.
Frank Gilbert at $18 million.
Eugenia Zuckerman will be here this morning to tell us about a musician whose instrument is a pair of shoes with crescents of metal attached to their bottoms, fore and aft. Savion Glover is this virtuoso's name, and he is, as you will see, a grand young man of tap. From Randall Pinkston, another Trojan horse is the story of a grave danger done up pretty convincingly as a gift.
When leaders of the Sac and Fox Nation heard they could get $100,000 in federal money to study nuclear waste storage, they thought it was a good idea.
Everything just went into disarray.
Then along came Grace Thorpe, who thought it was a very bad idea. After convincing her own tribe to give back the money, she was thrust into the national spotlight on one of the most vexing issues of our time. Her story later on Sunday Morning.
I'm from the Sac and Fox tribe in Oklahoma.
Millions of us counted our blessings last week. Later this morning, we will go to meet a painter who fervently hopes that a work of his may prove a blessing to those facing AIDS. From Richard Threlkeld, a look at what has been left to us by the poets and artists and pathmakers of the Beat generation. From John Leonard, a review of what sounds to be a splendid television panorama on the subject of the great heroes of sport. And we will talk later this morning with CBS News national security correspondent David Martin about Bosnia and the new American role there. First, however, here are the headlines for this Sunday morning, the 26th of November. Secretary of Defense William Perry has returned from Europe for a meeting today at Camp David with President Clinton and others of the president's advisors on the subject of this country's military involvement in Bosnia. The president is expected to make an address to the nation tomorrow about the peace plan for Bosnia and what it will require from this country. Eduard Shevardnadze, who helped to bring about the reforms that led ultimately to the fall of communism and the dissolution of the Soviet Union, has been sworn in as president of what was once the Soviet Republic of Georgia. Shevardnadze was re-elected by a wide margin earlier this month. Divorce is now legal in Ireland after voters there very narrowly approved that change in a referendum this weekend. Opponents say, however, that they will ask the Supreme Court of Ireland to declare the referendum results unconstitutional on the grounds that the government spent taxpayers' money on pro-divorce ads. A look at sports and the weather, and a milepost by which to remember this week when Sunday Morning returns.
Nobody brings you the flavor of the holidays like Western Family. Western Family, the quality brand of the West.
Ensuring the health of our forests is important to all of us. Uncontrolled fire and disease can upset nature's delicate balance. Removing fire-damaged timber with helicopters results in little impact on the environment while salvaging valuable natural resources. The remaining trees light and moisture and become more resistant to the effects of future fire and disease. Columbia Helicopters, dedicated to managing forest health and a healthy economy for over 20 years.
The teddy bears are back at Vancouver Furniture. That's right, it's time again for our annual holiday magic sale. That means this weekend we're marking low sale prices on our most popular inventory. And listen, during our holiday magic sale, receive this giant stuffed teddy bear free with any purchase of $5.99 or more. Just another reason why more people buy from Vancouver Furniture. And remember, there's no sales tax. We pay it for you.
In sports, everybody on the football field and in the stands at Gainesville yesterday remembered what happened in last year's game between Florida and Florida State, when the Gators blew a 28-point lead in the fourth quarter and the Seminoles came back for a tie. Well, this time, a 21-point lead had shrunk to 11 by the fourth quarter. Seminole quarterback Danny Cannell had a touchdown pass to Andre Cooper in mind. But what happened was an interception by Anton Lott. If at first you don't succeed, try again. So a few minutes later, Cannell tried again, and this time it was Mike Harris intercepting. And with time running out, yet another pass.
They were expected to be a good football team, and they have been a good football team.
And yet another interception. This one by Lawrence Wright. And Florida beats Florida State 35-24.
So you might as well get yards.
Meanwhile, in Ann Arbor, all Ohio State had to do to go to the Rose Bowl was beat Michigan. But faster than you can say, Chimanga Biakatuka, the Wolverines took charge.
To the 7.
Bob Greasy's son, Brian, threw to Clarence Williams. And Michigan took the lead for good, as it turned out.
Ohio State, two tights, the toss to Williams.
Clarence Williams again.
Touchdown, Michigan. Here, though, bring Biakatuka in and still...
Biakatuka ran for 313 yards. Two of them right there. Michigan wins, and more importantly, perhaps, Ohio State loses. For Northwestern, home in Evanston, watching the game on TV, is the team that gets to go to the Rose Bowl. They were as happy as anybody in Ann Arbor, with the possible exception of Chimanga Biakatuka. Sorry about that. Maybe we can pronounce the weather better. It was warmer yesterday in North Platte, Nebraska, where it was 74, and in Dodge City, Kansas, where it was 82, thank you very much, than it was either in Miami or in Key West. Well, it will be cooling off today. Teens and 20s across the northernmost bands of the country, 30s and 40s through the Rockies and much of the Midwest. Still mild through the southern and central plains, though today's temperatures won't rise quite to Key West levels. As for the weather, sunny and dry down south from Texas to Florida. It will be dry in the northeast, too, though some clouds may bring sleet or light snow to the westernmost sections of the northeast by evening. And then a few inches of snow will likely be falling all day around the upper Great Lakes. To the northern plains, where there was a freezing rain yesterday, it will be dry today, though gray and cold. Snow around the northern Rockies, too. 2 to 4 inches of snow, it may be, in some parts of Montana and Wyoming. Wet up there in the northwest, dry and cool through the southwest. And then tomorrow, warmer around the northeast, thanks to some gusting southerly winds. Highs may reach the 50s in southern New England and the 60s around the mid-Atlantic states. Wet from the lower Midwest up into the St. Lawrence Valley, where tomorrow's moisture may come in the form of sleet or freezing rain. Expect snow there in the upper Midwest and around the western sections of the Dakotas and Nebraska. Dry and cooler than it has been recently through the Great Basin and the southwest, and then more rain for the northwest. Here's a milepost for you. Last week, 30 million of us, give or take a million or 3, were out and about in this country on our ways to and then on our ways back from Thanksgiving dinner. We went by car, we went by bus, we went by train, we flew, and in the trunk of the car or under the seat of the bus or of the train or in the overhead compartment of the plane, we carried with us a little something for the folks we were going to see. Can't arrive empty-handed, after all. Well, we won't even try to guess how many casseroles covered with tinfoil may have been transported last week across town or across the state or across the country. Thanksgiving is a peculiarly American holiday, of course, and not only because it is rooted in American history. It seems rooted in the American character, too. Where else but here would so many people leave home to find home? So it was last week. On one side of the street, a house with all its windows glassy black because everyone in it had gone elsewhere. And on the other side of the street, a house to which a great many people had come with every light in the place blazing. Last week may have been the most American week of the year with its mixture of restlessness and yearning. 30 million of us left home last week to go home.
This portion of Sunday Morning is sponsored by Merrill Lynch. For clients around the world, we make a difference. The difference is Merrill Lynch.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I have a brief announcement to make. Today, our country enters the 21st century with a private...
Around the world today, a historic transformation is taking place, as industries once owned by governments are increasingly owned by investors. And Merrill Lynch is helping lead the way by advising governments in some of the most significant privatizations and by advising investors on how best to take advantage of the opportunities that result.
Privatization leads...
But our role is hardly surprising, given that more companies, countries, and individuals turn to Merrill Lynch for financial advice than any other firm.
And a better life for our people.
For all our clients, the quality of our advice makes a difference. The difference is Merrill Lynch.
What's amazing about global communications? At GTE, we think it should make it easier for people to get together, which is why we brought the first cellular phone system to Cordoba, Argentina, and why we operate the local phone system in the Venezuelan village of Grico, which Mercedes Torres finds pretty amazing. Why? Because she doesn't feel a million miles away from her grandfather anymore. Amazing.
How much closer do our precision heads help shave beneath the skin? How much closer does our innovative groove make Norelco's lift and cut system? How much better is the latest Norelco razor? We think you'll find it's never brought you closer. The Norelco razor, our closest shave ever.
Price according to economic theory, is determined by competition among sellers and, of course, by supply and demand. But if an object is by definition in